everybody out there. They live in Dallas, Texas. They are, excuse me, Adrian and Marita Chisholm. Adrian is a driver in Dallas, Texas, and Marita owns her own commercial cleaning business. They both like helping people. They believe in health, both physical and mental. And when this thing happened to her husband, she wanted to find some way to help him. Bless her heart. And lo and behold, she did. I'm not going to go any further. I'm simply going to ask you now to unmute and come on and share your testimony with us, please.
Hello, Mr. Bird. Can you see us and hear us?
I can see you and hear you loud and clear. Take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for having us here. Thank you, Ms. Wilson, for inviting us. And I'd like to share with you guys an exciting and how grateful I am for this patch, this LifeWave patch. My husband was diagnosed with CHF, which is congestive heart failure, in 2019. Back in January of this year, he started having really bad complications from this disease. If anyone knows about this disease, it is very heart-wrenching and debilitating for on your body. In May of this year, he was medically induced into a coma to save his heart and his lungs. He had pneumonia in both lungs, which we had no idea he even had pneumonia. He had walking pneumonia. And if anybody knows about walking pneumonia, you really don't know you have it until you go down. We went into the hospital in May. We didn't know what was wrong. We just knew that his oxygen level to 60%. So when that happened, they put him in a coma, for 14 days. At that point, 14 days, he came, but he was unable to walk. He was really unable to speak, and he was unable to move his extremities.
Right.
Very hard recovery. It took him about 6 weeks to walk, about a week to really talk and remember things, and about 6 weeks as well to move his hands and be able to feed himself. He was still unable to bathe himself and do all those things. In July, I think July 20th, we had another episode. He got sick again with pneumonia, went back into the hospital, and this time was in a coma, a medically induced coma for 10 days. At that 10-day mark, they said that his vitals was well enough to bring him back or take him off life support. So they took him off life support. The day after he was brought off of life support, I immediately took the patch and I placed it on the back of his neck. Didn't know what it was going to do, the back of his spine. Didn't know what it was going to do. I was searching long and far for something natural for him. And I received this patch from a webinar that I had gone to, a convention that I had gone to here in Dallas. A good friend of mine, John, had introduced me to it. So, placed the patch. I didn't know what to expect. But 2 days after I placed that patch on him, I patched him every day. 2 days, he began to talk. He began to come around. I noticed that he could move his hands and his arms, and which he wasn't able to do the first time. 8 days later, they moved him 5 days later into PCU, out of ICU. I noticed that he was moving around a lot more than he normally did the first time that he was in that coma. And the patch is the only thing that we changed, okay? The only thing that we changed from the first time to the second time. I'm going to turn it over to him to let him tell his testimony and his experience on the patch.
How y'all doing, people? Yeah, this is Adrian. basically, when I was diagnosed with I guess
Congestive.
congestive heart failure, I always filled up with fluid, and so I would always like, oh, I'll be all right, I'll be all right. But when I ended up going to the hospital, that's when it really hit me. So basically, I'm sorry to get emotional, but basically, um, it's just a lot of confusing stuff that I don't understand. And so basically, when I went to the what is that, CP, whatever you say,
CHF
CHL floor, I
or
went
CPU.
CPU. I wasn't able to stand up. I was just like, my leg was like noodles. And so it took almost 6 nurses to get me back in the bed. But 3 days later, after she patched me, I was able to actually get up and walk with a walker
Look at God.
and be able to do everything myself. And also be able to get out of bed on my own without any help. And they was like, what are you doing so different? And that's why I tell everybody that it's more difficult to understand that what did I change? It's so different, but I tell everybody that, sorry, that I'm recovering a whole lot better than I did before. And the only thing that changed was she was patching me. And I didn't know what was on the back of my neck at one day. And so I just felt like whatever is out there, it's out there for everybody to understand and to be able to take a chance and have something different in life than a whole bunch of medication. And right now, since I've been out of the hospital, my blood pressure has been low, and I have been able to keep my blood pressure. It always ran like 165, 180, in a high range where I can have a stroke at any time. But now I don't even take any medication because my blood pressure is already low. So if I take medication, that I'm going to end up, bottoming out, and I don't want to do that. But with the X39, the patch, it's like it just amazed me because that's the only thing I changed since I've been out, and I've been able to walk from the car to the house. Before I wasn't able to do that at all, and so I'm just thankful for whatever is out there that we keep it going.
Yes, thank you so much. Guys, the LifeWave patch has completely changed our lives. I've seen a huge difference within him from the last time he was in his coma, the recovery to this time. And the only thing, like I said, we changed was patching him. His doctor approved us patching him the day after he came out of his coma because the doctors, nurses, the medical professionals know what stem cells do and can do for your body. They have completely helped him get up, after, be able to walk. And it's a blessing not to have to take the blood pressure medications anymore. He was on 6 or 8 different blood pressure medications. He is now no longer on these blood pressure medications, and he's taken these medications for years. So the only thing that I can say is this patch here that we do is a godsend, and everyone should have this in their life. Thank you guys so much for listening to our journey and our story, and we hope that everyone gets patched.
Thank you so very much. I was touched when I first heard that. I was touched again today because when a story like that is out there, we should have no reason not to let everybody know how important it is to get patched, to try the patch. because we all have something that this patch can help us with. And as I said before, a lot of times you might not feel something happening, but there's something going on in your body that's changing you because the stem cells that are laying dormant are now being rejuvenated. And they can help you in many ways that we don't even know about.